Hey everyone, welcome back to PR and Test Drive. Today I've got the keys to the newly facelifted 2025 Honda Civic Sport Touring Hybrid. Priced at just under 39,000 Canadian dollars, the big change is what's under the hood. It is now faster and more efficient. Let's take a closer look. Starting with the exterior, the front fascia and the front bumper has been redesigned, now featuring honeycomb mesh grills. LED headlights come standard just like the pre-refresh models. Looking at the front end of this new Honda Civic Hybrid, I can't help but notice some resemblance between this and the LCI BMW 3 Series, especially around this area. Let me know what you think. Do you see the similarities? Comment down below. Moving over to the side, all design elements and side profile are carryover, aside from these redesigned machine finish rims. These are 18 inches in diameter and they're fitted with 235 wide 40 series tires. In my opinion, the rims design does look good, however I would prefer the dark gray to be in gloss black. In terms of suspension setup, McPherson strut in the front and a set of multi-link setup in the rear. The back of the Civic is largely unchanged with the same rear bumper design and the same trunk design. What is different are these LED taillights. They're now a little bit tinted for a little bit more of a smoky look. The one problem, however, is that the red on the taillights now don't really match the red on the reflectors, which kind of bothers me a little bit. Aside from that, you get your new Sport Touring badging as well as some hybrid badging at the trunk area. In terms of trunk space, you get a good amount of trunk space here. The seats fold down 60-40 split, and you get more storage space underneath the trunk floor. I also really like the fact that the trunk springs open all the way. However, something to note is that this feature is only available on the top trim touring model. Stepping inside the Civic Hybrid Sport Touring, it is largely carryover once again. The interior is leather, the rear seats are heated, there's a sunroof, and I also have an armrest, which is nice. In terms of space, I get a really good amount of legroom here and a decent amount of headroom. For reference, I'm 5'9". The one complaint I have in the back here is that I don't get any air vents for my HVAC system. Jumping into the front, the big change for this refresh model is the inclusion of Google built-in, meaning that you get voice commands over a lot of things like navigation, changing music, adjusting your climate control, and these voice commands are accurate and they're very usable. You also get Google Maps, which is nice. The only problem with this is that the Google built-in feature is only available in the top trim touring model. If you're planning to get the lower trims, you're out of luck. Really, I think Honda needs to just make this 9-inch infotainment screen with Google built-in standard and remove the 7-inch screen entirely. In terms of other features, you get heated steering wheel, heated front seats, auto up-down front windows, a fully digital instrument cluster, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, a wireless charger that you can turn on and off, which is excellent, as well as a 12-speaker Bose sound system. Ultimately, mostly unchanged. However, what has changed, we'll have to hit the road and talk about it, because it's all about this. What has changed is the powertrain. The top trim Civic Touring now comes with a hybrid system, replacing the outgoing 1.5-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine. This hybrid pairs a 2-liter naturally aspirated Atkinson cycle 4-cylinder engine with 2 electric motors to produce a combined 200 horsepower and 232 pound-feet of torque. That's 20 horsepower and 55 pound-feet more than before. This new Civic is faster and more efficient compared to the old one. On the highway, I was able to manage 5 liters per 100 kilometers, and in the city just under that, maybe around 4.8 liters per 100 kilometers, which roughly translates to just under 50 miles per gallon. That's a whole lot better than the predecessor with the 1.5 liter turbocharged engine, and much better than the 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine you find in the lower trims. The Civic Hybrid uses an eCVT transmission, but instead of having planetary gears like you would find in a Toyota hybrid system per se, Honda uses clutches. This hybrid system mainly operates as a series hybrid, meaning that the engine powers or charges up the battery, and the battery powers the electric motors, which drives the front wheels. On highway sustained speeds, the engine will be coupled with clutches directly to the wheels, to the front wheels, and power the wheels that way for maximum efficiency. But most other scenarios, it operates as a series hybrid. When it comes to driving dynamics, it's just good. Honda has always done a good job with the Civics, and this is no different. I just think they've nailed the fundamentals. The steering is precise, is nicely weighted, the suspension is tuned well, it's damped well, it rides well, it's comfortable, the brake feels good despite having regen braking, and if you decide to floor it, it allows for some fake shifts, which gets rid of the annoying droning noises you get with a normal CVT transmission, which is nice to have. Really, I don't have any complaints when it comes to the driving dynamics, especially the fact that this time around, it's got more power. You also get paddle shifters on the steering wheel. However, these paddle shifters aren't for shifting those fake eCVT gears. Instead, it's actually to adjust your regen braking levels, which is nice to have because not a lot of hybrid vehicles have different levels of regen braking. However, one annoying thing is that unless you're in sport mode, the regen braking level resets to default as soon as you come to a stop. Okay, moving on to safety features. As you'd expect, this new Civic has all the Honda sensing technologies. Adaptive cruise control, lane centering, lane departure warning, emergency braking, blind spot warning, rear cross traffic alert, so on and so forth. In the real world, the adaptive cruise control works really well, but I wouldn't say that the lane keep assist is best in class. It's average. It works fine. I've had no issues with it. It just doesn't track lanes as good as the class-leading products in this segment. One thing also to note is that although the Sport Touring trim has front and rear parking sensors, it doesn't have 360 camera. So if you really need to have that 360 camera, you need to look elsewhere. So, to sum up, the hybrid powertrain made the 2025 Honda Civic Sport Touring faster and more efficient. Although 39,000 Canadian dollars isn't exactly cheap, and you're also not getting a whole bunch of bells and whistles like, for example, a huge tablet-style infotainment screen, you are getting a fundamentally good car. It drives well, it rides well, it is just all around a quality product. What do you think? Would you take something else over this, say a Corolla Hybrid, a Prius, an Elantra, or a K4? Let me know down in the comments below. As usual, don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.